friends, hello, welcome back. Today we're going to be doing a goal scoring guide for NHL 20. Before we start this, first thing I do want to say is this, and that is that this game is just coming out. There isn't tuners out right now. It's pretty much day one edition stuff we got going on here, which means some of this stuff is effective now, and it's possible, not likely, but it is possible that some of this stuff does get tuned down later in the year, or it's not as effective as something else. You might have to go a different route here, but most of this stuff should pretty well be effective for the majority of the year, starting off with the most important and most effective way that has and always will be to score in NHL games, and that is via the one-timer. Now, obviously, one-timers, I mean, they're going to go in. At the end of the day, play better defense, and they won't score one-timers. I know a lot of people get upset. Oh, it's all one-timers and stuff. Well, if you play defense, especially this year, you'll learn that defense is a little bit better this year with the one-timers, or if you're into passing lane, you'll make that pick off on the one-timer. So it can be a little tougher to get the one-timers off, but they're still very, very effective when you do get them off. One thing I've noticed as well is, you know, when you get that one-timer off, it doesn't have to necessarily be a one-timer cross crease, where, you know, from the right wing to the left wing. You can take the center, or I guess it could be the right wing too. You can come from behind the net, throw that puppy in the slot, throw that puppy across, and that seems to be even more effective than maybe just your regular one-timer this year, because again, it's harder to defend a guy coming from behind the net, especially if you're the goalie who's going from hug post. You throw it to the slot, you throw it to the other side of the net, and he just bangs it far side, or even bangs it short side. If you're in a high slot, it's hard for that goalie to cover those posts because he just came bouncing off the post from the guy from behind the net. Another way to score is just going straight across the goalie's face. Now, I know this isn't typically as easy as it may sound, as just go straight across the goalie's face, but going backhand across the goalie's face and even forehand works. I've almost found backhand across goes better this year because it's harder for the goalie to poke you compared to forehand, where you want to try to go as fast as you can and then rip your stick straight back and then fling it far side. Both times, though, you want to go far side going across that goalie's face. Wait till you're about to the goalie and then try to far side. You want to do it too early. If you do it too early, you're going to hit it right into the back side of the goalie, right? But you do those backhand, forehand across the goalie, especially when playing guys at skill zone. You realize the AI, they worry more about the one-timer in this game than they do the guy going across the goalie's face. So if your guy's getting tied up across the post, you're likely able to just walk across that goalie's face, go ahead and throw it in there if, like I said, the guy's skill zoning, or if you're just playing computer games, right? Another option is the low point deflection shots. Now, one thing we've noticed this year is so far the D-to-D has not been as effective as it has been these past couple of years, and neither has deflections for that matter. Now I'll bring it up, but it's still a way to score. I want to try to bring up most ways you can effectively score in this game. If you're having problems, you know, doing the one-timers, walking across the goalie's face, maybe you want to try to grease some goals across, right? The low point shots do work. Take the little, you know, wrist it, aim low, aim for the goalie's pads, hope it bounces off somebody, hope it bounces off the goalie, maybe get a little redirected in there and get a goal. That stuff does work. Speaking of that, though, we're seeing the rebounds. They get a little bit more. Now, they're still going to work from time to time, but we're realizing, especially with the higher rated goalies, again, this might be a superstar thing more than an online thing, but we're noticing these goalies are bouncing these rebounds clear off the boards, way away from the puck. You're not getting near as many rebound chances this year. It's still a way to score. You can still get them. Again, shoot low, left or opposite side blocker, come up the right side, aim for the left blocker, come up the right side, go for the right blocker. It's still effective, but it seems not to be near as effective as it has in years past. But again, you know, if you're struggling in other facets of the game, there's multiple ways to score goals. You want to keep your opponent guessing, try as many different things as possible. If he thinks you're going one time every time, he thinks you're going short side every single time, you become predictable and easy to stop. The goal is to try to hit him with everything you possibly can and keep him guessing. Now, one thing this year you're noticing is short side cheese always in the game, right? You gotta go for the short side cheese. That's always going to be a thing as well. Another good way to score, coming in there, coming up, you know, about top of the circles, and you cut in across the goalie's face there, and you just sniz it short side. Now, that's always going to work, but we're realizing again this year, they did fix up the goalies a little bit this year where they're supposed to be, and they are a little bit better at stopping that short side. But the thing is, when a goalie's good at stopping the short side, that means he's going to have a little bit more of a problem stopping the far side. You can't really completely balance out both, right, unless you make the goalie like 6,000 feet wide. So that being said, you're noticing this year a lot more. You can come up, if you're left-handed, coming up the left side of the ice, you can kind of snipe it far side on the goalie. Same can be said if you're right-handed coming up on the right side of the ice. That far side shot seems to be working a lot better this year when you're, you know, right around the top of the circles area, coming up right wing, coming up left wing, and just sniping it far side. Both seem to be very effective this year. The one-timer off the face-off type, personally, this is the reason why I just stick lift every single time in the defensive zone. I don't take any chances because there's so many plays you can run off the tie-up. You cannot control this. A lot of the times it is hard to hurry up and grab that defender and cover the one-timer. But once again, you know, you tie him up in the offensive zone. You throw it to the opposite side winger. He one-times it again in the game this year. Some people don't even throw it across there. They just skate across the goalie's face with the guy that picks the puck up originally. That can work as well, right? Either way, you can go ahead and use that as an effective way to score as well. And then last but not least, we once again this year have the one-handed tuck. Now the one-handed tuck was great last year, looks pretty good again this year. The goal with one-handed tuck, at least that works best for me, is to hold the puck on the backhand, kind of line that stick up best you can with the post. And you want to go one-hand tuck, obviously aiming for the opposite side post there. When you're one-hand tucking, it kind of buries it in the back of there. Bounces off the goalie's pads and in a lot more this year, but it still goes in at the end of the day for these one-handed tucks. That is our goal scoring guide for NHL 20. Hopefully you guys found this video helpful. If you did, a big thumbs up, a big subscribe is always helpful. Otherwise, thank you guys for watching, and we will see you next time.